All right, what's up, guys? So today we're on the track. We're doing a little max velocity session. Should be a 20-meter fly, 30-meter build-up. So with the warm-ups for these sprint sessions, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to be ready to go, in my opinion, so that you don't hurt yourself and you're maybe a little bit more potentiated for the sprinting than if you didn't do the warm-up. I'm not trying to be a track and field sprinter here. I'm trying to jump high and dunk basketballs, so I'm just using the sprinting as a tool to be better at that. So I'm just trying to run as hard as I can here. Basically, what I'm trying to say is my technique, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. It needs to be sufficient and good so I can get the most out of the sprint. But like I said, we're not going to the Olympics. We're not doing any racing. We're just trying to run fast and get the benefits from that. So big goal for my session here is to just stay relaxed in all the sprints. Last track session I was really tense and I only had maybe 2 good ones where I was relaxed and I ran my hardest. If we tense up, what might happen is we might have some inhibition in the muscles just due to some over tension and our body wanting to kind of protect itself so it doesn't get hurt. So with our max velocity, we use a little bit more of the stretch shortening cycle. It's a little bit more eccentric in nature. And we're gonna stress that connective tissue around the muscle and in the muscle, but it's gonna be more around the muscle, focused on that stretch shortening cycle, using that free elastic energy versus our concentric acceleration where we're maybe using more muscle, more strength involved, which is great. But for me, I want to be more focused on that stretch shortening cycle and just becoming more eccentric and elastic in nature, especially as a white boy. Okay, gonna do one more skip series and then we're gonna get into some bounds. We'll do a straight leg and then just normal and maybe double if it's feeling really good, but maybe not, we'll see. Just go off of feel here. Okay, so one thing I noticed last track workout was that when I added speed to the bounce, so a run up, I didn't really add much speed. So the goal for today, I think, is just gonna actually be to actually build some speed up for that bound so that it's a quicker ground contact and gets me a little bit more ready for that max velocity. And just trains that quick ground contact, which is kind of what we're looking for right now. So relax. That's hard. Much better. Okay, so one thing I used to do was I used to think everything had to be really on the front of the foot, the forefoot and the toes for all my jumping. But in reality, that midfoot is king. And especially when we look at something like dunking, a lot of our steps are rolling through the foot or like hitting it flat. And a lot of time when we use the front of our foot, I find we actually end up braking really hard. So we end up almost kicking the ground versus being underneath us with a flatter foot. So just something to consider, something to think about if you're doing that. Could help you make a lot of gains. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 build-ups and try to get 3 100% effort runs in, starting 50% and 75 and then 90. Yeah, let's get it. For these first 3 runs, I'm just gonna go straight from the start because I need to work on picking up speed in my build-up because I don't think I'm at that 100% speed at the halfway mark yet. All right, so track session's done. We're gonna go hit the weights now. I'm not gonna show that, but just some final thoughts. Good session, best one I've had in a couple weeks. I think when it comes to prescribing your sets and your volume, although maybe I could have handled 4 or 5 like hard sets, I think having 3 is great because I have 3 opportunities to give it my best versus having 5 or 4 or even 6. There's too many opportunities to just kind of give a shitty effort and just not give it everything. Yeah, and like I said at the start, we're using this sprint session here as a tool to get better at jumping. So with the sprinting, we're getting a really fast, forceful ground contact, which should help me with my 1 foot and my 2 foot jumping. Should help me gain a little more speed on the approach. Should help me be able to handle a little bit more eccentric force. So on those plant steps, turning that horizontal momentum into vertical force, if you want to say. So yeah, a lot of benefits in the sprinting. Definitely get out here and give it a go.